Blessings in abundance. This is Rolls Royce Diaries, and I'm gonna get personal because I was building with people the other day, and they wanted to know a little bit more of my backstory for the new people. So, for starters, I was with my father. You know, he left on my 8th birthday. Okay, so I was in the house waiting for my dad to come back home, and he left us on my 8th birthday. He tapped back in periodically, disappeared in and out. He was suffering from alcoholism. And I know a bit of depression, black man in America, relationship not working out, lacking in resources, wasn't able to really help out the family in the capacity in which he envisioned, so forth and so on. Then I have my mom's. I met my mother when I turned 17. She died the week that I met her. So I had met my mother, and 6 days later she died. That's when I was 17 years old. So I had 7 days total with my mother. As far as my father's concerned, going back to him, you know, like I said, he suffered from alcoholism. So he would come in the house drunk at times, and I love my pops, but he'd come in the house drunk, eyes red, bloodshot red, and I would know, stay the hell out of this situation. We used to live in his mother's house, my grandmother's house, so I would run upstairs, lock my room, and hope that he wouldn't bother me. I look for him to come outside on the way home. If I seen he was coming in and he looked like he was staggering, if I saw his eyes bloodshot red, like I said, I would run upstairs, close my door, head under the covers, act like I'm asleep, and hope he wouldn't bother me, because he would beat us for no reason. He would beat us literally for no reason. So I'm talking about get drunk, find something wrong, and be like, punch me. You feel what I'm saying? He would also beat up on my sister too. You know, I grew up Michael, my sister grew up Michelle, my older sister. And so I grew up in a house with women, my older sister, my aunt, my other aunt at a time, my grandmother, okay? And so the women in the house used to be like, if you keep being your children, we're gonna kick you out of here. And I would get beat by my pops, but I would never tell. And people say, why you never told? I would get beat by my father, but I would never tell because I didn't want to be responsible. Remember, I'm 8 years old, I didn't have my mother. It was very common for people to not have their father, not have a father in their life and be missing their mother. So in my world, I felt like I didn't want to be responsible for the absence of my father in the house. I wanted to keep at least one parent in my life. So I would take the abuse. I would endure. I would take the abuse from my father, and I just didn't want to be responsible for missing both parents in my life. So I took the abuse. I wouldn't tell. So sometimes my grandmother would ask, her daughter, my aunt would ask, you know what I'm saying? My sister would be like, you should just tell. My sister would tell. She didn't give a fuck. She loved my pops too. They have a weird relationship, but she would tell. Me personally, the way I was thinking, I'm like, I'm not about to be growing up with no mother and no father. I'm keeping my father in my life. Sure, he has his shortcomings, but fuck it. If it's about abuse, I'll just take the abuse. So what really was a smack in the face is, not only did I not tell on my father a lot of the times that he would abuse me, I would literally lie and be like, he didn't hit me, he didn't put his hands on me, he didn't punch me. Not only would I lie and say he didn't beat me up, but then he still ended up leaving me. My pops still ended up leaving me. And that's the part that hurt the most. That I took the abuse and he still left. So you don't understand the betrayal that I felt from my father. It took me a long time to grow a little out of the scar. But the scar tissue's still there emotionally. But, you know, if you understand where I'm coming from, it's dreadful to take the abuse over and over, protect the abuser, protect the person that's beating you up, protect the person that's hurting you, because you want to keep them in your life, and they still leave you. Still leave you. So at the time, I was just left with my grandmother, my aunt. Her daughter sold the house without consulting with her brothers, my uncle and my father, and then in time she had power of attorney over her mother's house, which is my grandmother. She sold the house without any of us knowing, put my grandmother in a nursing home, and one day Century 21 is allowing me and my sister to live in a house we grew up for years with all my basketball trophies, my boxing trophies, everything. So when my grandmother lost her house shortly after, she lost her mind. That's a house that she allowed all her children and her children's children to live in, no matter what the circumstances, whether they could afford to help her or not. That house was gone, so I was left homeless. So I was living in the streets. And so, needless to say, sending myself to school, forging signatures like I'm one of my parents so I could go on school trips. And I was valedictorian junior high school. Got over 1,500 on my SATs, near perfect score. But still wound up dropping out of school. Still ended up dropping out of school. And I'm not saying I had to sell drugs or anything like that. I would hate to say something like that. But I did. The only people that were there for me, that offered me an opportunity at that time, at best, were the people in the streets. Because the guidance counselor gave me an opportunity to get a benefit card, some insurance card. But because I'm not pregnant, because I'm not no woman, they was giving me $65 every 2 weeks. And I couldn't use that to stay in school as a homeless young man. So I had to figure it out. All right, so this is some of my backstory. So I'm just expressing to people, ultimately, when you... Hey, what's up, man? When you see me grinding hard, when you see me doing these Rolls Royce diaries, you feel me? I want you guys to understand. I come a long way. So this is not about me bragging. You feel what I'm saying? This is not about me bragging. This is about me uplifting. This is about me motivating my brothers and sisters. This is about me letting you know that no matter what the circumstances are, the scenario is, and things may look rough and it may look impossible, you could transcend, but you just can't quit. You'll transcend so long as you don't quit. Never lose so long as you don't quit. But I'm telling you, it gets rough out here. I can tell you a whole bunch of stuff. I've been shot, I've been stabbed, I've been sliced. I've been through it all. Well, not at all, but I've been through enough. So when I say I'm out here grinding and working real hard to empower my people so they don't have to live or suffer the same fate as I had, or maybe not have to live in a certain circumstance for as extended a period of time as I did, it really comes from the heart. It really comes from the heart. So people see the glitter and the glamour, but they don't see the pain and the work that I put in. And even to the naked eye, you may look at this car and you may say, oh, he's being materialistic. He don't need to drive no $400,000 car. But at the end of the day, to people, to the naked eye, it looks like materialism. But in fact, it's materialization. Because when I used to watch those puffy videos, and it's so dope now that I've been able to connect with the brother. But when I watch those puffy videos, back in the days with the shiny suits, and I used to see this guy, they used to call him Bentley, and I used to be like, yo, what's this guy? That name is dope. What that name mean? I always wanted to know what names mean. And they was like, Bentley's a car, and at that time, it's a very expensive car. Hundreds of thousands of dollars. I think it was almost 300 grand when I looked it up to try to find out what's a Bentley. And I said, I'm going to get me one of those. And, you know, Bentley and Rolls Royce used to be one company at a time. And I said, one of these days, I'm going to get me one of those cars. And people was like, how? Ain't enough drug money in the world, you won't get that. And I used to be like, I don't plan on getting it with drug money. I used to always say I'm too smart to be broke. And that was my mantra as a young man. I used to always say I'm too smart to be broke. I'm too smart to be broke. I would wake up all the time, I'm too smart to be broke. And so even when I went to school, we used to have to create houses, dream houses, right? And I get a construction paper, and I'll draw my house, and then I'll be like, Miss, I need another piece of paper. I'll draw another house. Like, Miss, let me get another pen, another paper, draw me another house. So on the fourth time around, she was like, it doesn't matter if you make a little mistake. Just make one house and get it out the way. I'm like, I never made a mistake. I envisioned me having 4 dream houses at minimum. She's like, no, we only want one. I'm like, you only want one, and they only want one. I got 4 on my head right now. I got to get this off. I already not only constructed the dream house that I was commissioned to draw for class, or rather I had 4 of them. And she thought I was just making mistakes and being super critical of myself. I'm like, no, I already finished 3 of my dream houses already, miss. I need some more construction paper because these dream houses is filling up the whole sheet. You know what I'm saying? And I'm like, damn, they put the pressure on me to only do 1. But that's the thing in this world. If you aspire to only get a high school diploma, what if you fall shy of it? Then what do you have? You know, like we don't get told, we don't raise the ceiling. So a lot of times our ceiling is someone else's floor because we have very low expectations of ourselves. You know, I'd rather reach for the sun, and if I come up short, I got the stars. Something to that effect. So I'm saying don't limit yourself. And don't burden yourself by sharing all your dreams and your visions with other people, because there's energy vampires out here. There's parasites out here. And a lot of times, infatuation is infatuating. And what that merely means is the very reasons why some people love you will be the same reason why they hate you. People will look at me and love me as a teacher, love how I flourish, love how the people engage me, love the streams, the numbers of views. They love everything. They love the knowledge. But then when they go out and then endeavor to teach and they don't get the same feedback and they don't get the same response, they in turn start hating the same person that they loved for the same attributes, because infatuation can become infatuating. Because some people have failed to surface the same potential that they see in others. They start to conceptualize that maybe the person that they admired is somehow taken away from them, or they grow insecure every time they see you demonstrate that which they have failed to bring to the surface in terms of potential. So the very thing people love you for will be the very thing people hate you for. So you got to be careful when sharing your dreams. I'd rather share the end result than to share the idea. I'd rather share the end product. But you know, I'm just doing this stream just so people understand. So when I'm doing my credit restoration, people say, why you got to charge $2,000? And it's because you're getting so much from it. I'm removing negative items off your report. I'm adding positive items to your report. I'm boosting your credit scores. I'm leveraging the results so that you meet the criteria to be approved for funds that you don't have to pay back, ranging anywhere between $50,000 to $300,000. I'm making sure that you get at least $500,000 in or around in credit card equity. And I say it that way because I teach you how to invest monies from credit cards. And I show you how to get credit cards that don't have late fees. Credit cards that you could turn off. You could literally turn off the credit report to your advantage. Such as the X1 that I showed you guys. Okay? Also, you get a website, our website. You get to... Our website, you get to track your results, see when your money is pending processing or when the funding is cleared. You get to see what negative items that we removed as we're removing them, the positive items as we add them. And lastly, you get to see your credit scores while it's on the rise. And for those of you that think, well, I already got good credit, so, you know, cut the fee in half, you're probably only talking about TransUnion, Experian, Equifax, and FICO, and you're not aware of the 30-plus different credit bureaus that have a say, and not just if you could get approved for a house or approved for a car, but how much money you can be approved for, or if you can even be approved at all. And if you have the right to get approved for monies you don't have to pay back. And if you do get approved for monies that you have to pay back, what is the interest rate? Or approved for credit cards, what's the APR? So one of the other things I always say is I'm too smart to be broke and it costs way too much to be poor. Concessions are made onto wealthy people or people that have demonstrated that they can make intelligible decisions as a consumer. Things cost a whole lot more when you demonstrate that you cannot make intelligible decisions as a consumer. When you're ready to pay the $2,000 to get started, just email me at brotherpolight45@gmail.com. Leave your full name and your phone number when you're ready. I pinned it to the top. Leave your full name and phone number only when you're ready to spend your $2,000 to get access to anywhere between 50 grand to 300 grand that you don't have to pay back. Credit cards, 6 figures worth in credit. Also, get the mentorship, because boxers have trainers, basketball players have coaches, and when it comes to money, we just wing it, and we wonder why we're struggling. So you need a mentor. You need a mentor for money, just like basketball players need a coach, just like boxers need a trainer, because you're not going to go in there with the professionals and wing it and kicking no one's ass. You're going to get your ass kicked. And that's what's happening to us in this society. The onus isn't on us gaining enough economic esteem and momentum, and therefore we can't compete with the rest of society. Not because we're inferior, not because we're not intelligent, just simply because we're poorly educated. We have a low cognizance for money. That's the only reason. We have a low cognizance for money. That's the only thing that's stopping me. That's the only thing that's stopping all of us. A very low cognizance of money. Low cognizance of politics, low cognizance of money. I'm more than a plug. I'm the outlet. And that's what we're talking about right here. So you go to brotherpolight45@gmail.com. You leave your full name and your phone number. When you're ready to spend the $2,000 to get access to anywhere between 50 grand to 300 grand that you don't have to pay back. Get you a caseworker that's going to deal with your credit exclusively and immediately. Get me as your mentor, so I could prepare you for the funds coming in, so you have a wide range of ideas how you may want to invest the money so you could grow it into a larger amount, and also have our website at your disposal so that you can see the deleted items as we remove them, the positive items as we add them, and also you can see the money as it's pending or when it has cleared. So you leave your full name, your phone number whenever you're ready. You have to also keep in mind that I make available to my students or the people that join the mentorship, the credit restoration microwave, what I make available to them is also my team of professionals inside of 60 to 90 business days. I make available my team of professionals to make it cheaper for people. So when people say, oh, it's $2,000. First of all, we're spending at least $640 on mail, because we're mailing over 30 different credit bureaus and financial institutions on your behalf. And we're sending the mail out, registered mail, signature confirmation, green card receipt. Okay? That's what we're doing. Sending out registered mail, signature confirmation, green card receipt. That's what we're doing. This is important. So when we're sending 30 times the dollar amount they charge to send out mail, not just regular mail, registered mail, signature confirmation via green card receipt. And the reason why we send out the mail that way is because registered mail goes through a chain of custody where at least 3 people have to bear witness that the mail has been mailed out. 3 people bear witness that it's being sent to where the designated place is. Reason why that's important is because we use the law. We send out compendiums. Okay, a compendium is a form of document that writes things in question and answer form. So picture a person that's a liar, but you get to jump in their body and you get to answer the questions on their behalf in truth. And you jump out their body and you get to ask the questions in an anticipation for them only to give the truth, not a lie. Picture debating people and they actually tell the truth instead of being dishonest. So what a compendium is a question and answer format, and you're answering on behalf of the person that you're questioning with title codes and statutes and laws as reference points to the answers to the questions that you're asking them. You're answering on their behalf. We use these compendiums when we're serving these papers on your behalf because the law stipulates that they will owe $20,000 to $30,000 if they don't respond to the mail that we send out. So that's why we send out the mail, registered mail, signature confirmation, green card receipt, because registered mail goes through a chain of custody where 3 people, not including yourself, 4, bear witness that that mail actually got sent that way. So now no one can lie and say they never received the mail, and then nobody wants to have to pay $20,000 to $30,000 for not responding promptly. Okay, so just think about that. So in mail alone, times those 30 different bills, and financial institutions would spend over $640 on your behalf just to correspond. Okay, so that's a compendium. And we also send out affidavits of facts and memorandums as well on your behalf. This is beyond the 609 letter paradigm. This is beyond that. Okay? And then the petitions that it costs us to say, hey, you qualify for these funds because you meet the criteria. And then you got to understand this. We have about 18 different venues or mediums that we petition on your behalf so you can get access to funds that you do not have to pay, because there's monies available to you that you don't have to pay back. There's monies available to you that you don't have to pay back. Granted, your age, your race, your gender, your neighborhood, your level of schooling, the amount of employees you have or the lack of employees thereof. If you're an entrepreneur, the 70-20 application is right there for you to get around 11, 15 grand for being an entrepreneur. If you're driving Uber, you're driving Lyft, you have over $10,000 that's available to you that you should be getting access to. The problem is, this isn't taught in school. This isn't broadcasted on television. And I'm darker than most people who have qualified the fact that they should be paid attention to based on what they know, presumably. So it's all difficult because some of you got the best information, or I would say some of you got the most technical information from people who's not my complexion. That's what I will say. And a lot of you tend not to learn much unless it's inside of the convention of a classroom forum. And many of you will say, well, how come he knows and I don't know? And the answer to that is very simple. I'm constantly studying and I'm constantly asking questions to people within the confines of the circles that I stay in. But anyway, case in point is I have a team of professionals that oftentimes and ordinarily, it's customary for professionals to charge for their services. My professionals don't charge for the services because when you make your monies on the back end, then I ask for 10%. So you pay $2,000 up front. We get you access to anywhere between 50 grand and 300 grand that you don't have to pay back. We get you 6 figures worth in credit card equity, lines of credit. That's the monies you do pay back if you use it. I'll show you how to use them both side by side to build your credit up more so. The monies you don't have to pay back and the monies you do pay back by way of credit cards. Because I expect you to invest using credit cards and build your credit in doing so. What happens is sometimes some of you guys have tax issues. So I get a tax professional to act on your behalf who's credentialed. So you can still get your monies. Sometimes you need a loan officer to push your monies through because the people that are supposed to be helping you at your bank may not necessarily help you. Sometimes you might need a CPA or accountant of some sort to help you out so we could go over a hurdle so you can meet the criteria to be approved for 2 or 3 different forms of money that's available to you. Sometimes you might just need a financial advisor to get an overview of what you got going on so they can steer you in the right direction. Some of you might need 1 or more of these people at the same time, and it's the only thing stopping you from getting access to 100 grand. Many of you may not have $2,000 plus the amount to pay a CPA, a financial advisor, a loan officer, a financial advisor. So all of those people are available to you at your bequest for absolutely free. The thing is, when you get your 200 grand, I ask for 10%. 10% of 200 grand is 20,000. Then I give the commission to everybody that's part of my team that is working for you on your behalf for free. They're working for you. They're working on your behalf for free because they understand you will get the money. And in doing so, in the internal of this process, you're also getting knowledge. And plus, I'm also mentoring you. But wherever you need a credentialed professional, we have them available. Because I dropped out of school 9th grade. So I'm not credentialed. So I can't do everything. I'm full aware of many things. And maybe even hipped a lot of the professionals to many things. But I'm the one with the network. So everyone wins. So when I get the 10% on the back end, then I give a percentage to whom it concerns. That has helped facilitate your process. And because they understand everybody's going to get their money, because everyone understands they're going to help you get your money, they know they're going to get you the money, they don't mind working because they know they're going to get the money on the back end when you give me 10% of what you did not have to pay back. So you get 300 grand, I expect 30,000. You don't have to pay the $300,000 back. So why would you get mad that you got to pay me 30,000? This is the problem with people in America, man. You have people who get $26,000 per each employee. We help service them for the employee retention credit. Not the 1099s, but the W-2s. If they had employees, 5 or more W-2 employees, we help them get a tax credit of $26,000 per each person. You got 10 employees, you made 260 grand. We charge our fee. Then people run off. They escape. They don't want to pay it. You had nothing. Literally, you damn near didn't have the $2,000 to pay us. Now you got the bag, and you shortchanging us. We fix your credit. The people who destroyed your life, where you couldn't even get a car, you couldn't get a house, you couldn't even get a Walmart card in your name. We fix all of this. But then you like, but damn, why I gotta give you 10%? Bitch, you ain't even have 200 grand. You didn't even have 2,000. So if I want 20,000 out of 200 grand, that's fair, especially if you don't have to pay the money back. But this is the type of stuff we got to deal with people. And this is why I said, man, I got to fall back and I got to stop this. The credit restoration used to cost a lot more. I made it cheaper once I got the right amount of professionals to work around me. That would create your business trust. If you needed a real estate investment trust, an endowment fund trust, a solo tax lien trust fund, if you needed a type B private gift company, a LLC, if you needed a private interest holdings, whatever the case is, whatever business infrastructure that you need, in order for us to make sure you get access to your funds, I put those people in my circle so you can get it done. You're leaving with a wealth of information. The most valuable part of the service is actually the knowledge that you obtain. Because with that knowledge, you'll never have to go back into the space that you was in prior. That's why it's all about reciprocity. That which is mutually beneficial to both parties. But again, you go to brotherpolight45@gmail.com. You leave your full name and your phone number when you're ready to pay the $2,000 to get access to anywhere between 50 grand and 300 grand that you don't have to pay back. 6 figures in credit card equity. A mentor to coach you and prepare you for the money coming in, so that way you could grow your money to a larger amount of money because you'll have a working business model, a plan, so you don't squander the money inadvertently or advertently. A caseworker that's going to deal with your credit exclusively and immediately, and a website so you can track the results of the monies coming in, as well as see the deleted items as we remove them, the positive items as we add them, and your credit scores as it's on the rise. And like I continuously say, even if you think you have good credit, I would then ask you, so where's your 300,000? Where's your 200,000? Where's your black card? Where's your... Then it's going to be like, well, yeah, why don't I have that if I got over 750 credit score? Because there's firewalls on your credit that need to be torn down. That's coming by way of LexisNexis, spelled with I's, check systems spelled with an X, and a whole bunch of CDAs, consumer data aggregates, that impede on your ability to get approved or get the highest amount for anything that's available onto you. So we have to talk to those other bureaus, those covert bureaus that exist. You don't even realize that your bank have their own credit scoring system for you. Your bank has a credit scoring system for you that they don't tell you about. Real talk. Real talk. Okay? So keep in mind, don't get caught out here during this recession and find yourself hurt. Hey, yo, Joe. Because once that first quarter come and they officially announce it, yeah, we're going through a recession. When they make it very clear that, hey, expect more layoffs. and you end up being one of the people that's laid off, or you start realizing the price of living is going up exceedingly high and it's contradicting the amount of money that you make, the price of living is contradicting your income, don't be put in a position to have to go through the anxiety and the depression of not being able to do for your loved one, your children, your spouse, your significant other, your niece, your uncle, your nephew, your friends. It's the most painful feeling in the world to not be able to do something nice for people you love because you're limited in resources. It's the worst feeling in the world. So yeah, you go to brotherpolight45@gmail.com. You leave your full name and your phone number. When you're ready, I have to stress that, when you're ready to spend the $2,000 to change your life, to become a master of your own destiny, to no longer be limited to time, space, and place because of a lack of resources, you connect with us. When you don't want to let down your daughter or your son or your wife or your husband, when you want to get out of that pocket where you hate where you live, but you got to wake up every day like that, know you're better than the place you live, know you're better than the people that you're around. And I don't mean better like on an egotistical level, I mean better like you're on a higher frequency. And you want to start associating with like minds. You want to be in environments with like minds. You want to be in a better neighborhood where there's more trees, better air, less exhaust, less crime. That's not a lot to ask for. You have every right to those things. You feel what I'm saying? Well, with the type of business infrastructure we create is predicated upon the model control everything, own nothing. When we're poor, we like to have everything in our name. We take a sense of pride from it because we've been denied of so much. When you start obtaining wealth, you realize it's actually the opposite. You don't want to own anything. You want to control everything. Literally, you could die, leave this planet Earth, and on paper be broke, but have walked as one of the most wealthy people in the world. Control everything, own nothing. Make your business infrastructure stand in your person. That's why a synonym for the word corporation is person or legal person. Because it does everything you do minus the flesh and blood. And that's why if you had to go to court, it'd be the city or the state that summons you to court. Because the city or state is acting as a physical entity. And they're not even talking to you, they're talking to the corporate you. So that's why it's a summons, because it's almost like trying to conjure up a spirit. And that's why when you show up to court, you say you're there on special appearance. You can't just appear, because they're not even talking to you. You're coming on special appearance to challenge the court on the ground they lack jurisdiction, making them in violation of Article 3 of the Supreme Laws of the land. So forth and so on. But it's your right, man. I'm not going to go into that data right at the moment. But yeah, this is Rolls Royce Diaries. I'm too smart to be broke. It costs way too much to be poor. Yeah, Rolls Royce Diaries. Don P. Negroes say the darnest things. So I just be renting this car out all year for the last 4 years straight. You go up and down my Grand, and you see me with the purple or the violet rose. Cause you know violet is my favorite color. Yeah. Only time you don't see me with it is when I'm in a different city, cause I got different cars in different cities. Talk to me nice. Yeah. Got a studio session today. You know, I gotta come get my ginger shots and my coconut water straight out the coconut. Yeah. It's my brother June.
Rolls Royce Diaries, you heard?
Rolls Royce.
Getting that good food in.
Yeah. Got that cauliflower pizza. Yeah. You take the wheel for me, Brody? Yep. Rolls Royce Diaries. Talk to me nice. Hey, love my life, but the door is suicide. You hit me at brotherpolight45@gmail.com. You know it's studio time. You see these boys come out. You know what it is. Don P. That's why they call me Don P. It's because the car. That shit's so foggy. Blurry. Don P. I'm proud of my accomplishments. Love my life, but the door is suicide. Don P for the Don P. Hard built in Goodwood, England. Shit foreign. Rolls Royce Diaries. That's the name of my show. Feels good. Love my life, but the door is suicide. Talk to me nice. Let's take this ginger shot and cheers, because life is getting better for us. Hey, you gonna hold that for me, King?
Huh?
You gonna hold that for me?
Yeah.
There you go. Let me just show them how we do before our session. Whoa, what's this?
Woo-wee.
Wow. Vegan pizza. Yeah. Cauliflower. All that on there, huh?
Huh?
Bell pepper, cauliflower pizza, crust. Oh, he already been in his one, huh? He been doing damage.
Hell yeah.
Got my
Man, shout out Apple today, man.
You already know.
They
Got my
always
ginger
show
shot.
love.
And coconut water, straight out the coconut. The guy delivers the coconut over here and they pour it in the bottles. Mm-hmm. Sometimes I request a coconut so I can eat the flesh as well. Flesh is where the love is at. You get like 12 to 1,300 calories just eating the flesh out of coconut. So between eating the coconut flesh and 2 avocados a day, you lit.
Yep.
And then you have some sea moss mixed with bladderwracks and burdock. You get all 102 minerals out of 102 minerals that the human body needs.
Mm-hmm.
Ain't nothing they could do with you. And then you get your ginger shot because it has an antioxidant in there called gingersol that repairs the DNA, especially in the brain. But that's a whole nother conversation for another time. You be thinking all of this is coming together by accident, but there's no accidents in the universe.
Exactly.
Only incidents, never accidents. Because even if it's chaos, chaos is still part of divine order. Now we talking about my art.
Mm-hmm.
We're gonna get this ginger shot. We don't need no tequila shot. We're gonna drink this ginger shot. But we ain't gonna do this for the dead homies. We're gonna do this for our ancestors.
Let's go.
Both alive and in transition.
Let's go.
It's not for the dead homies, it's for the ancestors.
Let's go. Mm-hmm. That's him.
And we don't do our ginger shots for chasers. We ain't got no lemon or nothing in there.
Hell nah, straight.
Cayenne pepper and raw ginger. So your shit gonna be on fire if you living like us. No matter how much you take it, it's gonna always kick. You already know. You know, we got more here. That's for the studio later, though.
Mm-hmm. Gotta get right. You know what I'm saying?
Gotta get right.
Family locked in there for a minute. 12 hours.
We
25.
celebrating. Cause we got a way out now. We got a way out. We should be celebrating. We can get this bread before this shit go to hell.
Straight up.
And it's gonna hurt for who struggle, but at least you ain't gotta be one of them. I'm raising 144,000.
Let's go.
This beyond dollars and money talk. You shouldn't have to struggle. And you shouldn't have to spend most of your life working. Real talk. People say while you sit in the car, you go sideways because I don't be want to mess up my shoes. Even when I drive, I take my shoes off because I don't want the rubber to get dirty. That's just how I am.
Built-in chauffeur. Y'all see that?
Yeah, did they see? Let's replay that. Did y'all see the built-in chauffeur? Talk to me nice. Watch how that work. Hey, that's a heavy door too. Trust me when I tell you. But yeah, see you guys later. I feel great, man.
Man,
You're
me
truly
too, man.
blessed, man. Thank you, brother.
All the time.
My king right there, man. One of my kings.
How y'all doing, man? Out here in Miami living, man.
Yeah.
To the top we go all the time.
To the top, you heard? Talk to me nice. So we say, Aswugador, Black Power, Hotep Wa Battlecat, peace and blessings. And last but certainly not least, in our living language, Ndu Asusu, we say Iluvu, perpetual success. Look forward to hearing from you guys. Change your life. But let's take it to the highest level. There's no reason for us to be struggling so long as we have access to the knowledge. Blessings in abundance.